awareness is always the first part of any journey. Where am I now versus where do I want to be, right? If you don't know where you are, you can't you can't expect that your GPS to get you anywhere if you don't know where you're going.
Follow the compass home. Let the truth lead the way. You don't have to rush your knowing. It's been with you every day.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Inner Compass podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Barnes, where we talk with our guests about how they've been either paying attention to their inner compass or ignoring it and sharing their resulting stories and that. And happy to have my guest here today is Jean Border, and a little bit about her. This is referred to as a holistic intuitive, a coach, mentor for other energy workers and entrepreneurs, and had 36 years of leadership experience in that. And so I just want to welcome you here and just kind of kick it off right away. This is what types of situations or experiences have you had where you encountered your inner compass and either paid attention to it or ignored it?
Oh, wow. Well, thanks for having me. This is going to be interesting talk.
Yeah.
So many of those. Oh, how far back do I go? Here's one. My dad was Air Force. We traveled the world when I was growing up. I went to 10 schools, before I ever graduated from high school. We would clear out our closets every 2 years or every year, however often we were going to travel. And then he retired, and I went stir crazy. So I knew that I would have to get a job where I could travel and somebody else would pay for it. And
Yeah.
so every decision I made brought me further along that journey to where I got that position where I could travel the world and somebody else paid for me to work for them all over the place. It was fantastic. So that's the strongest, earliest one that I can think of.
So
Where
were
I,
you getting like little nudges to go this direction or that direction that led you?
yes, yes. And out external events would conspire to move me along that path, right? The first time I was just working, as I was going through college, and one of the girls that I worked with, I was not in management at that point, said, "We've got this management position open up in a different state, and I put your name in for that job." I'm like, okay. And so that was my first, actually move it. Now I had been traveling internally for that with that group, but they actually picked me up, paid for me to move to another state, and it was great, you know. Um, and then things continued to happen to move me along that path. From that path, someone came in and saw how many positions I was handling because they were in transition at the moment with management staff. He said, "You're not paid enough for what you do." I'm like, okay. He says, "You need to come and work with us." And I did, and I got to travel all over the US, the territories. From there, I got to go to Italy, lived in Italy for 5 years. That one driving value, I would travel the world, but somebody else would pay for it. Worked out so well for me because my mind was set there, right? And my intuition would say, follow this path, follow this path. I'm giving you this. If you choose to accept it, you'll be further on your journey.
That kind of goes back. We're all both in the mindset realm, and that says that whatever you set your mind to, says the reticular activator, you start noticing things like different opportunities to reach your ideal job or goal or whatever it is that you're focused on, and start being more aware of these different opportunities.
And awareness is always the first part of any journey. Where am I now versus where do I want to be, right? If you don't know where you are, you can't put, you can't expect that your GPS to get you anywhere if you don't know where you're going,
Yeah.
right? You need those two things to start any journey. Where am I now? Well, I'm in Florida. I'm not, but I'm in Florida. But I want to get to Michigan. Okay, I'll get you from Florida to Michigan. But where do you want to go in Michigan? Do you want to take the highways? Do you want to take the back roads? There's so many variables and so many decisions from where you are now to where you want to go.
Yeah.
And the clearer you are, the more your opportunities will appear if you look for them.
Yeah. And how do you want to travel there? Do you want to travel by bus or train or airplane or you know, whatever? It's just, I mean, so it's different opportunities and options that make themselves, available in that. So, um, but yeah. So um, how how are you utilizing and paying attention to your intuition now?
Well, a few years ago, my I retired from that career, which afforded me great travel. And I'm full time in the energy world. But it dawned on me about 6 months ago, and it juiced me when I heard somebody say, "Oh, I had a nationwide speaking tour." I'm like, "Oh, they're traveling and somebody else is paying them. I can do that." So that's where my compass is leading me now to a nationwide speaking tour. And after that, it'll be worldwide because I travel not only the US, I've been to all 50 states, but I also travel the world. I've been to so many places, it's fantastic. But if I can go back to my old premise, I'm going to travel and somebody else is going to pay for it, that fits right in.
That's awesome. Yeah, again, this is you're staying open to these different opportunities and aware when they make themselves, known to you.
Yes, yes. You become aware and then you focus on it. What do I need to get rid of? What do I need to grow? What skill set do I need, right?
Mhm.
There's a pathway to get to where you want to go. Sometimes you don't have the right environment, you don't have the right um, network. Could be all kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
It could just be that you need a support system around you. And then what actions do you need to take to actually get you where you want to go? So all three of those things conspire to move you from where you are to where you want to be.
Yeah, that's just whatever your end goal is, like you're saying, so you need also now, okay, this is where I'm at right now. And to get there, you just kind of reverse engineer what it is you need to get there and then identify, okay, how can I acquire these resources or, you know, get to the next step.
And what actions do I need to take? And in what order, right? And
Yeah,
which one
that's
do I
kind of
not?
critical too.
Yeah,
It's
let's be strategic about this.
so yeah, it's you know, with the different ideas and that somebody has of what they would like to be doing in that if they don't have take the steps in the right sequence, it's not going to work out.
Yep. If you get on a stage and you don't have speaking skills, you've kind of slowed your roll there a little bit.
Yeah,
It's
I
good to
want
get
to
the
I want to
experience, but you
jump
you
right to
start
the
on the
front. You
you
know?
start on the smaller stages. You don't start off with the Tony Robbins type stages if you don't have that experience, right?
Yeah,
There's
it's like with any of the whatever skill set that you need at the end, you need to be working on making those improvements
yes,
that you're
one
ready.
percent a day. They say 1% a day. Just take one step every day, and then at the end of the year, you're that many steps closer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I've heard this a few different times. Like, okay, if you whatever skill you're wanting to improve, if you just improved that skill 1% every day, think of where you will be in 1 year.
Yep. Yep. And I use the same principle with my business, and I have the people I work with. I ask them occasionally if they're looking more for relationship improvement, either with their vendors or with their clients or even with their spouse, what's the one thing that you can do today to move you closer to your goal? Don't get wrapped up in all the tasks that you made your big to-do list. What's the one thing that will move you the closest towards your goal? Do that one thing, then you can worry about all the tasks that you've been assigned by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just, yeah, one small step will starts that journey. And that, so I'm curious, just also, in kind of in the energy realm, work as well. How do you how do you see your intuition coming into your energy work that you do?
For me, I my intuition comes in as a knowing. Okay, everybody is different. I have so many years of learning to listen that when I'm working with people, I hear not only what's on the surface, but what's underneath. And when you do it a lot, things become even more obvious more easily,
Hmm.
right? Um, and so when you get into those discussions, sometimes the person involved it wasn't even on the edge of their awareness. They had no clue. And then when you can gradually bring it to their attention, it's like, oh my gosh. But to an outsider, it seems so obvious,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, it's just a knowing. For some people, it's like you get a weird feeling in your gut when you get resistance. Sometimes with my client, it's very funny. Sometimes with when I'm working on something with somebody and it's close to something that I experienced, I choose to say, okay, if I take myself out of that equation,
Hmm.
is my initial thought still true? And it typically is.
Mm.
But I want that safety barrier. If I take me, all my preconceptions, all my beliefs, all my past, my history, any ancestral stuff, whatever it is, if I take all that out of the equation, is is my intuition about this person's issue actually true?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
then I get a yes or no.
Yeah. 'Cause with me, it's as I combine logic and intuition in my coaching, and that, and I'll be talking with someone and they'll say something and I'll get this intuitive hit. It's like, wait, back up. We need to, address what you just said, a little deeper here, or there's just something that they said that it had this additional meaning that hit me, and I'll mention it to him. It's like, oh, I never realized,
Exactly.
that's so true.
Exactly.
That, so,
Yeah. And
but
I'm very direct. So I have to, especially when people are getting used to working, right? Because a lot of people don't even have this experience. They've never worked with somebody who does what the kind of stuff that we do, right? So I'm very gentle with people
Mhm.
until it comes to the point where I just this is what it is. You can take it or leave it, but this is what comes up, right? So I'm very direct and I don't play games. I'm the logical person, right? Like you are. With my background, I'm very logical, very practical, and very intuitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can be gentle, especially when someone's new to this stuff, because it can be such a unique, odd world if you've never entered it before, right?
Oh
We
yeah.
we
Yeah.
eventually think it's just normal,
Yeah.
but not
Yeah.
everyone else has had that experience yet.
Yeah. It's like just I'm here to walk with you, not push you down the hill here. It's like so, but
It's
but
always their choice, right? We can say this might benefit you and give them ways to implement something, but it's always their choice. It's
yeah,
their personal power that they're either taking on or they're giving away.
yeah. And it's
That's
one
the
of the
bottom
things
line.
that I encourage people to really get kind of quiet themselves and listen for their inner voice, and that their guidance that's there and maybe getting drowned out with all the other noise in the world around them and that. So just paying attention to that, and taking those small steps, like you say, is to start the journey and that.
I
But
have a lot of, I work with a lot of people who really get a lot out of journaling. Now,
yep.
some people don't like to do it at all, but for some people, that's where they get their most self-understanding,
Hmm.
is when they just, I'll give them something to journal on. And then they'll come back and say, well, this came through and I got this and I got this. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So as we're kind of wrapping things up here before we close, I always like to ask my guests a few questions around the inner compass and that. And
Ah, okay. Let's hear
so
it.
you kind of answered this a little bit, but just be a little more specific. When you're facing a situation, um, when you notice your inner compass speaking to you, what does it feel like or sound like? And you said earlier it was kind of like a knowingness, but I mean, what does it feel like or sound like?
It's calming and it's strength. I, I, I use the word power a lot, and it's not necessarily, it's like I'm stepping into my power, but it's a strength. Um, I don't know how else to say it, but it's very calming. Just it's very directive.
Mhm.
I'm directed in a certain way, and going off doesn't feel as right, I'll say.
Yeah. So over you know over the years you've learned to identify, and so that you can pay attention. It's okay, this is I need to pay attention here. So
Anytime you start to feel resistance, that's when you need to question.
yep. So my video just kind of weirded out on me here,
You're
so,
back right now. So,
but so next question is when you're facing a situation, says how do you distinguish between fear, what is really, you know, talking to you, distinguish between fear, logic, and intuition? How do you determine what's really speaking to you?
fear for me is resistance. So anytime there's resistance, that means there's a belief or an emotion or an event or history behind it that needs to be addressed. Um, I'm a very logical person, so that one, that always comes into play with me. If it doesn't make sense to me, it's not happening. Um, Intuition is just I get nudged or it becomes exciting, right? So those are the way those three things work with me.
So you wind up um, kind of weighing the logical and the intuitive parts and that to make your decision.
I also use something called muscle testing,
Mhm.
which your viewers may have been exposed to, but if not, I would suggest they look into that. There's a very easy, something they call sway test. The
Mhm.
body naturally, it's just the way it's created, naturally moves towards or sways towards something that it's attracted to. And
Mhm.
it naturally tries to lean away from what it sees as a danger or a negative, right? A threat.
Yep.
And so even when you go into a room of people you don't know, sometimes
Yeah.
somebody in there makes you feel weird and you just gravitate away.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That's
your
so
inner
true.
knowing. You learn to trust that,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. That's so true. So now the third question is really, it's a question for a future guest. So what question would you like a future guest on here to answer regarding their inner compass?
Oh, wow. Do you actually pay attention to it?
Hmm.
Because not everybody does.
Yep.
And if not, what is the voice in your head saying that makes you not trust it?
Yeah. Yeah. Talking yourself out of it. So I need to ignore this. And
Yes.
that's so. That's great. Yeah. So, well, this is appreciate you being here and sharing your stories and knowledge and that. It's um, just want to let everybody know this is you've got gift that you wanted to share, and that will um, Gene's information and the links and everything will be in with the podcast description and on my website and everything, so you'll be able to get to all the good stuff on her website. And so just share a little bit about what you have.
Well, I've created one of these energy modality things is called tapping, EFT, emotional freedom technique. I've been doing that for almost 2 decades. And so I've created a PDF for people who have a little bit of stress around money. Just go to jeanborder.com/vow, VOW, because we have so many vows around money that don't serve us when it comes to actually living our life. You need money to buy food and to pay your rent or pay your mortgage or pay your car payment, whatever it is, right? So just get that and tap along with it. And you can always find me on LinkedIn or my website's just my name, jeanborder.com. There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, this is I'll have all those links and everything on in the description, and so easy for the listeners to grab. And again, thank you for being here, and thank you, listeners, for joining us. And look forward to having you on a future episode. And until then, take care. Bye.